Elio guys, and welcome back. Well, some of you guys know me as Elio, Elliot, whatever you want to call me. As long as you know the name and you know how to find the channel, which, shameless plug right here, go ahead and like this video if you do in fact like it. And go ahead and consider subscribing if you haven't already, because why not? You're coming here for MSO content, if not more content, so why not know as soon as you refresh your list on YouTube that your boy has a new video up. But in today's video, we have a revisit of LUwUka. Now, LUwUka has gotten a redo in terms of his name once again. Now he's just LUwUka, but I recently did a review of him over here on November 2nd, 2020. And I believe he was going by LUwUka Kujo at that point in time. Now his account doesn't reflect his real name, which has been decided by the Discord, because his real name is actually LUwUka, which, yeah. It's a Discord joke, but if you guys haven't joined the Discord already, I definitely implore you guys to do so. And let's go ahead and get right into the account review. Alright, since I'm an awkward Andy, this time I want to start off from the light. Well, not the light, but the dark, and then work my way up versus being the regular way, which is just the fire mons and going down. So actually, let's go ahead and just start on off here. So it looks like he does have a dark Hana, dark Yuki, dark Lupin, dark Flora. There's a Venus. These aren't really being used, so I'm not gonna either bother checking them out, because if they were being used, they'd be level 60 with enhancements and stuff like that. But hey, not bad pulls. Dark Lupin too, and he has a square slot. Beautiful. Let's take a look at his Astromon. So coming in here with Dark Cupid first, he does have a couple books on him, but he's pushing 75% resist, as well as 76% crit rate, and he has over 100k HP. He's sitting at like 150k HP, and he's on a broken set, which still is a remarkable broken set. So he has 20% crit rate, as well as 14% resist. He has another HP gem. He better have another HP gem with 19.5% crit rate. And then he has another HP gem with a little bit of resist, but 26.5% crit rate. So where's he getting all that resist from? If that's only 14, 9, and then 9 once again, that's 18 and 14. That is like 30, 32? It's like 32. Let me see here. Okay, so that trinket gives off 13, and then enhancements. Okay, he has HP, defense, and recovery. He doesn't even have resist on the enhancements, which leads me to tell you guys that if your mods don't have resist, there's no excuse as to why they don't have resist if all he's getting from his gems is essentially like 32% resist. I mean, he starts off with 30% resist base, but still, it's no excuse. Moving on, next though, we have Dark Arthur over here. He's on a ruin set, pushing with 91% crit rate, 37% resist, and he's over 100k for his HP. He does have less HP than Cupid, but he probably has a crit rate gem on him. Called it, boys. Called it. 16% resist up there, and 17% crit damage. HP is helpful because he is an HP aggressor. Another HP gem with some crit damage and crit rate. And then another HP gem with 19.5% crit rate and then 16% crit damage. Not bad on the rolls in terms of crit damage. It's Dark Arthur. But he has a crit damage enhancement and some HP up there. I'm sure with a actual crit rate enhancement that he could hit max. But once again, it's Dark Arthur, so it's understandable. Have a great day. Next up though is Dark Venus over here. She is on a HP gain set, which is the Gem of Healer, I do believe. So she has a defensive gem with 14% recovery and 14% resist. A recovery gem with 14.5% crit rate, though it doesn't really matter, but 22.5% defense is pretty chunky. And then an HP gem with 19% defense and then 7% resist. And over here with the trinkets, obviously it gives some, basically some flat stats and some crit resist right there. She has an attack gem just to raise up her DPS, though it doesn't really matter. The main selling point right there is the resist. And then also an HP gem. Now, you may be wondering why I'm not clicking on the trinkets. It's because trinkets do have a very, very, like, subtle differences on them, but for the most part, they're going to give you resist, they're going to give you attack, they're going to give you HP, defense, and some crit damage. So it's kind of like not good for me just to go over it every single time unless there's something specifically you guys wanted to see, which you'll never know because this video is pre-recorded. But anyway, she's fully booked up, so that brings up her attack down and also boosts the potency of her attack up. And enhancements wise, she has HP, defense, and recovery, which she is a healer. Why would she need attack or crit rate or crit damage? And then she's also super ascended, and she comes in with immunity, which grants her a 30% chance to remove all negative effects from the user and grant them immunity for 1 turn, which could actually be helpful depending on her situation. So if it works, it works, but if it doesn't, well, rip. Moving on next though, there's another Dark Venus. She's fully booked up as well, and he has 2 Evo 3 Dark Venuses. She's once again on the healer set right there. Enhancements, this one has a little bit resist up there versus just the raw HP, defense, and recovery, but she should have very, very similar gems, whereas the defense gem with 17% HP, an HP gem with 28% recovery, and then a recovery gem with 21.5% defense. So definitely add some chunkiness to her, which is always needed. Then there's a Dark Yuki who looks like she might be in progress right here. She's not on a broken set, but looks like she is going for a tank build. She as in Yuki, not as in LUwUka. LUwUka's not a girl. Well, he might be, but you know, it's 2021. Defense gem with 8% resist up there, HP gem with 21% resist, and then defense gem with 13% resist. And I mean, he's sitting at 54. He went from 0 to 54. Fully booked up. Looks like she's just a work in progress though. But in terms of enhancements, it's just defense, HP, and then attack, which is perfectly fine. I mean, it's Dark Yuki, but she's a work in progress. I'm gonna skip these guys because, I mean, look at him. Look at him. It looks like he was using Dark Birdie at some point in time, but he's like, F it. Dark Miho, same thing. She's not even super evolved. Dark Sparket. In case you guys are wondering though, why does LUwUka have all these mons but they're not gemmed up or they're not like super duper immaculate? LUwUka is a Titans fanatic, in case you didn't know and you're new to the channel. He definitely loves Titans above everything else, so if the PvP mons that he has isn't up to your liking, well, I have the video for you. You need to go check out, I believe it's Yue. I can't say his name at all. You need to check out his account review because that is a PvP Andy, boys. A PvP Andy. There's also Dark Misha here who is on a ruin set, which we'll take a look at anyways because we're already here. But a crit rate gem with 17% resist up there. HP gem with 20% crit rate. A little bit of attack and then an attack gem. Fine. It's fine. I mean, it's Dark Misha. He probably doesn't even use it unless it's just for World Boss, so it's not a big deal here. Next up though is Dark Tina on a protection set. Bit of a weird chant right there. She's fully booked up though. She has enhancements. She has trinkets. She's sitting at 92% crit rate, and she has an attack gem with 24% resist. Crit rate gem with 18% crit damage, and then another attack gem with 20.5% crit rate. So maybe he was trying to offset her lack of defense and lack of HP by putting the protection setup there. Once again, this could be used for World Boss, so it's not that big of a deal. Moving on next though, we have a Dark Mona here on an Intuition set. She doesn't have a triangle slot, but it's not the end of the world, and Discord keeps distracting me on the other screen, so let me just like close it real quick. But let's take a look at her gems though. So there's a crit rate gem up there with 15% resist and 14% attack. An attack gem of 13.5% crit rate and then 21% resist, and then another attack gem with 20% resist. No enhancements on her, but she is fully booked up. She's sitting at 100% crit rate, meaning her hunter will always activate, and 65% resist. You know, you could say that she could be on Ruin, but this Dark Mona is already like better than like 90% of the Dark Monas out there, if not 95% of them. Moving on next though is Dark Miho. This one's super evolved. She's sitting at 66% resist and then 55% crit rate, and then of course over 100k HP on a broken set, and let's take a look at these gems. So HP gem with 25% resist and 12.5% crit rate. Another HP gem with 22% resist. And then another HP gem with 19.5% crit rate up there. A little bit of crit damage and resist as well. No enhancements on that one. And there's the other Dark Miho, which this one may be more attack based because she's sitting at 91% crit rate and then 71% resist, which is pretty poggers. But this one's on a ruin set with 14% crit rate on that HP gem, another HP gem with 20% resist, and then 13% crit rate, and then crit rate with 32% resist, which is where that chunky amount of resist comes from. That's actually a very, very good roll. And I was correct with my analysis of her being the DPS one, because I'm like, that high crit rate and resist, you must have godly rolls, man. And then for enhancements, is just HP and defense. Obviously, HP is the main stat because she is an HP aggressor, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to ignore defense, because she still has defense. It's just that her stats, in terms of damage, don't really scale off that. Next up though is Dark Sea Star. She is on an intuition set, fully booked up, super evoed. And let's take a look at these gems. So defense gem with 14% crit rate and 22% resist. Another defense gem with 8% resist and then 26.5% crit rate. It's a pretty fat roll. And then another defense gem with 27% crit rate and then 8% resist. But she's sitting at 58% resist. And I mean, what is it? Like 98% for her crit rate, dude. Like, that's absolutely incredible. Like, once again, boys, no excuse. No excuse. Enhancements though, she has defense, crit damage, resist, HP, and of course crit resist. All in all, definitely a very good sea star. Obviously she does benefit from the additional damage of being a dark type with that amount of crit rate up there too, so it's even more beneficial. And yeah, I'm totally okay with this because she's triple defense, which is how your boy likes his aggressors. And then there's Dark Wildfang over here. She's super evolved, fully booked up as well, and variant, which is pretty poggers. But she's sitting at 62% resist, which is really, really good. And then she's sitting also at 45% crit rate. Now hold up. I know you're like, but Elio, why does she have like literally no crit rate? She has Stalker. She has Stalker, boys. That automatically, with her being booked up, she gets 50% from both her moves with Stalker. And then you also slide in that 45. Well, she's sitting at 95. Yes, it isn't max, but with a little tweaking, a different roll into a gem, congratulations, it's over. But enhancements wise though, she has crit damage, crit resist, defense, attack, and then some more defense and attack. In terms of gems though, she has an 8 attack gem with 13% crit rate up there and 11% crit damage. Another attack gem with 7% crit rate. Like literally, if that one rolled into 14%, this be shut down. This will be over. So he's that close. But 10% crit damage up there and 22% resist. And then another attack gem, so triple attack with 20% resist up there, which is pretty fat, and then 14.5% crit rate. Still pretty good in my opinion. Still pretty darn good. Moving on next though, there's a Light Leo, there's a Yuki, there's another Yuki, man. Dude, there's all kinds of Yukis. All kinds. There's a Light Sig down here. He seems to be on his way to getting to Evo 2, so he's a work in progress. But it appears LUwUka already has this boy geared up. So he's sitting at 85% crit rate and then 17% resist. His attack's a little bit low. Well, not his attack, but his stats in general are a little bit low, but he is Evo 1, so do keep that in mind. But he has a crit damage gem with 12.5% crit rate up there and 21% defense, which is pretty chunky. An attack gem with 21% crit damage up there and 12% crit rate. And then also another attack gem with 20.5% crit rate. Not bad. Not bad. And enhancements wise, she has HP, attack, and then crit damage as well. So, I mean, I'm sure once he gets up there, dude, he's going to be doing hella damage, but still pretty nice. And then there is his Light Neza. Does he only have... Nope, he has another one. But she's working on being Evo 3, it seems. But this one's on a broken set, so I'll skip her for right now. There's Yuki over here on a Valor set. She's pushing 113% crit rate and 24% resist. So maybe she's supposed to be more of an attack-based Yuki. So pure DPS and not really survivability. But she's only Evo 2 as well, so it's not the end of the world. But on her Gem of Valor set, she has a 13% crit rate up here. On that attack gem, her crit rate gem is up here as well with 15% resist and 10% attack. Not 10% attack, but 10% HP. Then an HP gem with 26% crit rate. Which is actually weird, champ, because she's on a Valor set to kind of give her more attack, but she also has crit rate and HP, so she's kind of more of a bruiser, in my opinion. But she's fully booked up, so maybe she's just World Boss, because he does have another one, so I'm not going to really speculate over that. There's a Verdi over here. She's on a broken set, so I'm not really going to bother. It doesn't look like she's really being used anyways, because she's not even booked up. There's Marie over here, Light Marie, which at some point in time was better than Light Nike, but once Light Nike got a Super Evolution, it was like goodbye Marie, and then once Dark Sea Star came out, it was like goodbye Light Nike. So that's how that works out here. But she's on an Intuition set. She's sitting at 68% crit rate and then 36% resist. I'm fully booked up, but maybe she's just world boss fodder, so no point in speculating, boys. Next up, though, is a Light Cupid. He does have 2 enhancements, so perhaps he's being used, but he's sitting at a nice 76% resist up there, and dude also has a very, very weird champ, 73% crit rate. I mean, I know he's a defense aggressor, but let's get into it. So, in terms of his defense gem over here on his Intuition set, he does have some recovery up there, but 19.5% crit rate. Next up is another defense gem because he is a defense aggressor with 15% resist and 10% crit damage. And then there's another defense gem with 13% resist as well as 6.5% crit rate, and then 21% recovery. I was going to say 21.5. And let's take a look at his enhancements real quick. So there's some crit rate up there and some resist, which is reasonable. I thought that was a little bit high, but he just needs some books and finish up them enhancements, and I'm pretty sure he is good to go. Next up, though, is Light Pixie. She is also on a Gem of Healer set. She's fully booked up. Let's take a look at these enhancements first. HP, recovery, and defense. Making sure that those healers stay alive, guys. Just making sure. But she has an HP gem up here with 19.5% defense. Crit rate doesn't really matter because she is a healer. Another HP gem with 14.5% defense. And then a defense gem with some attack up there. But honestly, in terms of subs, not very good at all. Not very good at all, but I'm sure that she performs her job well with applying defense down. And then, of course, isn't that Vigor? It's Vigor or Vigor, whatever the heck you want to call it, boys. Whatever you want to call it. But of course, LUwUka doesn't play with trinkets. He does not play with trinkets. If them trinkets are going up there, boys, he's going all in. He's making sure they're maxed out. There's a Light Sherlock who only came around once. So if you don't have her on your account, GG. Because it looks like you weren't playing MSO when she came around. Or did she come around again? Maybe she came around again. I can't remember. I could be totally wrong there, so disregard that statement. But anyways, she's on a broken set here, and she's sitting at a whopping 55% crit rate. She does have enhancements on her, but no trinkets, so I'm not sure if she's being used. So I'm just gonna move it right along, boys, right along. Next up though is a Evo 3 Light Siegfried, and he does have one book on him, but he's sitting at 82% resist, and then as well as 85% crit rate, which is pretty poggers. Pretty poggers. But attack gem with 20.5% crit rate up there, as well as 18% resist. He has another attack gem with 22% resist up there and 14% crit rate. A little bit of crit damage, and then also another attack gem with 21% crit rate and then 9% resist as well. So he's triple attack, isn't he? Triple attack. He's going all in for the DPS, boys. In terms of enhancements, though, he has crit damage, defense, crit rate, HP, and then attack, which I can understand, especially with the crit rate, because he doesn't have not even a triangle slot nor a square slot, but any additional crit rate you can get is always good in this scenario right here, and at 85%, that's damn good with that amount of resist up there. Like, that's really, really good. There's a Light Suck here. She's on a broken set, so we're just going to bypass her. Light Neza is over here on a broken set as well. There's a Light Banshee who seems to be a work in progress, but once again, LUwUka's more of a Titans guy, not so much of a PvP guy, so it's not a big deal. There's a baby shark that has been demoralized. He has been ripped apart. I'm not sure what is going on here with that gem, but he's, even with that gem missing, he is sitting at 52% resist up there. He does have enhancements as well, fully booked up, which if you guys, like I said before, if you guys don't have baby shark, I know he's a weird meme nowadays and no one does baby shark do, but once baby shark comes out and you don't have him on your account and you plan to hit Titans, you need to do that do and go capture at least 4 of them. At least 4. Look at LUwUka. He has at least 20 million baby sharks. So I'm just saying, you need to go ahead and slide on over here and pick up some damn baby sharks. And then there's another baby shark over here on a broken set. Do we have the best baby shark in the world? It might be that one. It's going to be that one, boys. It's going to be that one. Now, this one's pushing 85% resist, but I'm not sure exactly where it's being used at. So he could have different baby sharks built for different Titans, and I just don't know because I don't run LUwUka's Titans. LUwUka does his own Titans because he is a grown man. He is a grown individual. But this one's on a broken set over here. He has a defense gem of 25% resist, an HP gem with 12.5% defense, a little bit of recovery, and 21% resist, and then a recovery gem with 21% resist. So the moral of the story is, you guys better be running your baby sharks with HP, defense, recovery. There's no excuse as to why you can't do that. My boy LUwUka almost has his baby shark on a Valor set. He's trying to get all kinds of damage out of baby shark. No, it doesn't really matter. He's a healer with not even 2k attack. He's not going to do any damage. He's literally there as the counterpart to Dark Venus. But this one, this guy, you can get him to Evo 3 for free. There's a Light Miho up here next, but she doesn't have any enhancements on her. She's not even super evolved, so maybe she's a work in progress, but she is sitting at a whopping 61% resist. Coming up next, though, is Light Minicat. Now, looks like he has put some work into Light Minicat because this bad boy is sitting on a ruin set, boys. Let's go over here and take a go at this. So, HP gem with a little bit resist up there, and then 19.5% defense, and then 14% recovery. There's another defense gem with 24% resist, and then 13.5% recovery. And then an HP gem once again with 19.5% recovery and 20% crit rate as well. So, I mean, the biggest thing here is that it's not so important that he has max crit rate because Minicat is a healer. So, I mean, if he crits, he crits, but is his damage going to be like super duper amazing? No. I think it just so happened that things worked out in this way. Like, things rolled in the correct way in terms of recovery and resist, and LUwUka was just like, who cares? Enhancements wise though, obviously there's defense, recovery, and HP. You don't see any attack, you don't see any crit damage, you don't see any crit rate. So do keep in mind, he's not trying to make this monster do damage. I mean, if he does damage, he does damage. But if he doesn't, he doesn't. His main focus, though, isn't to turn a healer into a DPS, because his stats don't exist for it. He is clearly a recovery type. So relax, guys, relax. We're going to skip those baby sharks, though, because I ain't got time for that. JK. Next up, though, is 1 out of 25 million of his Light Wendigos here. This Light Wendigo is sitting at 43% resist, 85%, actually 95% crit rate on a Valor set, and not so much crit damage, but I mean, his raw attack is fine. Let's take a look at enhancements first, though. HP, defense, and then attack, which he could easily add crit rate up there if he wanted to, but it's not a super big deal. And it's also dependent on what leads that he's using in Titans anyways. But he has a crit rate gem up there with 12% crit damage. There's a little bit of defense and resist. There's an HP gem up there with 24.5% attack, which is pretty nice. Pretty chunky. And then another attack gem with 13.5% crit rate. In terms of rolls, there's really nothing extravagant about this Light Wendigo at all. But it already beats out like at least 95% of Light Wendigo owners that I've seen. This is proof right here, you guys. You don't need to have the world's most perfect gems until we get the Wood Merlin in order to deal efficient damage in Titans. You don't need that, boys. Next up, though, is another Light Wendigo number 2. This one is on a Ruin set, though. He is at max crit rate, 100%, boys. Let's take a go at this. So he has an attack gem with 12.5% crit rate and then 22% resist. A crit rate gem, which is understandable, with 23% resist and then 20.5% defense. And then another attack gem with 13.5% crit rate and then 23% resist, boys. And enhancements, he has defense, attack, HP, and crit damage. So he can get a whole bunch of damage out of that Light Wendigo. That Light Wendigo gets the thumbs up. And then here's another one. This one doesn't have any trinkets, though, so maybe he is retired or he's on his way to greatness. But he's sitting at 55% resist and then 60% crit rate. But anyways, he has an attack gem on him with some defense, a little bit of crit rate, and some resist, as well as a little bit of crit damage. There's another attack gem with 14% crit rate, a little bit of crit damage, and then 14% resist. And then another attack gem with 20% crit rate up there and a little bit of resist once again. Which still, this isn't horrible. This isn't really that bad at all. Then next up is his third Light Siegfried. This bad boy is on a Ruin set. He's Super Ascendant as well, and he has Protection of the Fallen, which grants a 100% chance when falling in battle to trigger an effect that reduces damage done to all allies, both for the current and for the next one turn. He does have it fully booked up on his 5-star Courageous Strike, which is pretty poggers, man. Pretty poggers. But let's take a look at these gems, though. So on his Gem of Ruin set, he has an attack gem of 20.5% crit rate, a crit damage gem with 19.5% defense and then 13.5% crit rate, as well as 14.5% attack. And then another attack gem with crit rate coming in at 19% and then 11% crit damage. So dude is on like the best set that he could possibly have. Crit damage, attack, boys, like this is some top tier madness. His crit rate isn't maxed, but I'm sure if he crits or when he crits, he hits like an F word. Just saying. In terms of enhancements, though, he has defense, attack, crit rate, and then a little bit of HP as well as crit damage. So he's going balls to the wall. He really poured out a lot too, because look at this. This stuff is almost maxed out, you guys. Like, dude is committed. I'm pretty sure he does some spicy damage. Then next up is Wendigo number 25. This bad boy is sitting at 55% crit rate, though. And then 11% resist, fully enhanced, fully booked up as well. He has an attack gem, nothing really extravagant there. Another attack gem with 19% crit damage, but nothing extravagant there. And then another attack gem. So, yeah, this one is probably one of the weakest out of the bunch, but it's not a super big deal. Enhancements, once again, defense, attack, HP, crit damage, and crit rates. but maybe he's not being used right now. I'm not sure. Here's the second Light Leo, but this one's actually built. He's super evolved and fully booked up as well. He's sitting at 100% crit rate as well as 54% resist on a pugilist set. So he has an attack gem with 14% resist up there and 12% crit rate. A crit rate gem with 13% resist and then 14% crit damage. And then a defense gem with 13.5% crit rate and 14% resist. So kind of a bruiser-ish build. I was kind of scared though once I saw that crit rate gem on him, because I was like, oh no, did LUwUka like go fully glass on him? Because him being on a pugilist set, I would hope that he has some type of defense or HP on him, just to make him kind of a, not so much of a sponge, but better than what he is. Because with crit rate, attack, even if you're running him offensively, he's still going to be very, very fragile because of just his stats in general. So having that defense gem does help mitigate some of his lack of HP or lack of defense, so he can survive and hopefully, you know, put that pugilist set to work. So I'm okay with it. Absolutely okay. But anyways, he has HP, crit damage, attack, and then some crit resist, as well as some defense in terms of enhancements right there. But that's pretty damn good for a dude that doesn't really do PvP. Just saying, unless LUwUka's trying to hop up inside the PvP scene as well. Here's his other Light Yuki though. This one's fully built up though. She is on a Bastion set, pushing 63% resist, fully booked up, super evolved. Let's take a look at these gems though. HP gem of Bastion with 20% resist, an attack gem with 7.5% crit rate and then 18% resist, and then a defense gem. So she's more of a bruiser-ish build, not so much for damage, but she has a nice rounded amount of stats right there. Crit rate isn't necessary, but if you're gonna go one or two of the ways, that makes sense. Like if you want to go like full crit rate and maybe try and give her crit damage, attack, or you know, something of that nature, that's perfectly fine as long as her crit rate is maxed. But if you want to make her more balanced and give her this amount of resist, then that is fair too, because as long as she can survive to get those shocks off, that's really the biggest selling point and the biggest thing that you should focus on, at least in this casual's opinion. Alright you guys, coming up next though, we have his Woodmons. Dude has a plethora of mini-cats, a absolute plethora. So he has some mini-cat action going on here. Looks like he's also leveling up a Wood Ramu. Maybe this is for the Nat 3 League, but if not, I'd be kind of concerned with his, what is that, 65% stun rate? I'm actually kind of concerned right now. He has 4 Hanas over here, but does he have more? Yes, he has 3 other Hanas, so we're going to skip some of these Hanas just for time's sake. He does have a Wood Scheherazade though, so let's take a look at her. She is on an HP set, coming in with 84% resist, a little bit of crit rate as well, but she's there for, you know, applying debuffs, so it doesn't really matter at all. But let's take a go at this. So on the HP set, she has an attack gem with 14% resist, HP gem obviously with 15% crit rate and then 13% resist, and then a defense gem. So she's kind of built bruiser-ish, which is perfectly fine. I mean, she is a tank as well, and LUwUka knows way more about Titans than I do. And let's take a look at all of these plus 15 gems. Oh my goodness, man, this guy is very, very disgusting. Very, very disgusting, boys. But enhancements wise though, she has defense, resist, and HP. And I mean, if it works, it works. I'm not an expert on Scheherazade, but maybe he has plans for her, especially in the future, of getting her to Evo 3. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on. Wood Hana is up here next on a Ruin set. My boy's packing the heat with these damn Ruin set healers, you guys. Packing the heat. But he has a recovery gem up there with 20.5% attack, build, healer. And then 18% defense. A defense gem with 18.5% recovery, because you can't leave home without that recovery. And then an HP gem with 20% crit rate, and then 13% recovery. No real recovery. Not 13% recovery, 13% defense, but no real recovery. But LUwUka's over here, man. He's trying to change the meta. All healers, ruin only. Enhancements wise though, she has defense, HP, and recovery. Just trying to keep those healers alive, man. That's all that he's trying to do. Fully booked up as well. This boy ain't playing. Next up though is what is it? Woodbill Pup. I have not seen a Woodbill Pup. Actually has me a little bit curious right now. But in terms of gems though, Woodbill Pup is sitting at 70% resist, just about 69. Close enough. But on the HP gem, there's 20.5% defense and 13.5% recovery. The defense gem has 20% resist and 15% recovery. And then the recovery gem has 17% resist up there. So that was recovery, defense, HP, pretty classic for a healer. I'm just verifying because I'm reading off a lot of numbers and I forget things in like 2 seconds. But once again, following Hana with the defense, recovery, and HP. And fully booked up as well. With that exposed weakness and that defense up, I can see why he's packing the heat over here. And then next up is one of many God Wood Merlins. So in terms of the Wood Merlins here, I'll go ahead and show you guys a screenshot, which is what LUwUka's Merlins are capable of doing. Yep, damage is just absolutely bonkers, dude. Absolutely disgusting. It makes me sick. It makes me nauseous. And probably he's the only dude I know that with the mods that he has and the gem quality that he has to really push Merlin that high in terms of damage, which is coming in the future. I don't know when, you guys, but there will be a Courageous Striker tier list coming out, which was suggested by a viewer. So stay tuned for that, and let's take a step back and go back to the account review. But you know, if you're serious about Titans, you can get some serious damage out of these bad boys. And let's start off here with this one. He's sitting at 70% crit rate though, and then 85% resist. Fully booked up, well not fully booked up, but nearly booked up, but fully enhanced and super ascended with the Devastating Strike, or Devastating Strikes skill. But he has an attack gem up there with 19.5% crit rate, and then 14% defense, as well as 16% resist. Another attack gem with 15% resist, 12% crit damage, and then 21% crit rate. And then a crit damage gem with 19% crit rate, as well as a little bit of attack and some resist. Do keep in mind though that his rolls, in terms of his stats on his gems, they're not perfect, but they're lit, dude. They are lit. In terms of enhancements though, he has attack, defense, HP, and crit damage. So he aims to get the most survivability out of his Merlins and also the most damage, which makes sense of why they're doing that much damage. And then we have another Merlin over here, super ascendant as well, but no books on this bad boy. He's sitting at 85% resist though, as well as 72% crit rate. And he has the similar skill to one of his Light Siegfrieds, which is Protection of the Fallen. We've already been over that. But this bad boy has a crit damage gem up there as well with 17% resist, 21.5% crit rate, and then 13.5% attack. An attack gem with 19.5% crit rate and then 21% resist. And then an attack gem once again. So crit damage, attack on a ruin set, which is basically the best set that you can get for a damage dealer, with 14% crit damage, 16% resist, and 21% crit rate. So once again, just beautiful rolls, and you know, almost identical to the past Merlin that we saw before in terms of enhancements. Just beautiful rolls, dude. Nice spread of just stats in terms of the rolls too, where they're all pretty much beneficial towards them, like HP. Like if he had recovery, that wouldn't be very beneficial towards him because it doesn't do anything. But yeah, very nice rolls into everything. Even if everything's not top tier, everything is contributing to his survivability and his damage. Here's the other Merlin though. This one's sitting at 92% crit rate, and then basically non-existent resist, which isn't a big deal, especially if he's in the back lane. But this one's super ascendant as well, and he has, what is it? Shared Determination grants a 50% chance every 2 turns to restore 25% of all allies' SP when attacking. Interesting. This one's on a triple diamond set though. Triple diamond, 92% crit rate. So this one has an attack gem with 22.5% crit rate up there, as well as 10% crit damage. Another attack gem with 20% crit rate and then 12% crit damage. And then a crit damage gem with 27.5% crit rate and then 14.5% attack. That is a beautiful crit damage gem. That's honestly a very beautiful one. And I mean, there's some defense and HP subs there as well, which is perfectly fine because once again, it does add to survivability for him to hopefully maybe get off another turn and get a little bit more damage. That is a great gem though. Very, very great gem. Enhancements though, he has attack, HP. This one does have some crit rate up there and then crit damage as well. But look at the rolls on these guys. Look at the rolls. Like, this shit is almost maxed. Like, pardon my language, but this is almost max. I mean, I wouldn't reroll for the HP and attack. 1% isn't that big of a deal, but holy crap, dude. Holy crap. There's a Paya or whatever on a Pugilist set. This is just for memes or something because, I mean, look at him. Moving on though, I'll skip past that meowing because, well, mini cat because obviously he's not enhanced. And we'll go right over here to Bass. So once again, we got healers coming in hot on a ruin set, boys. I'm not sure why, but it is. This Bass though is sitting at 85% resist, and then also 52% crit rate. But an HP gem up here with 12% crit damage, 16% resist, and 19% recovery. A recovery gem with 13.5% crit rate, 10% crit damage, and then 14% resist. As well as a defense gem with 22% resist and then 14% crit rate. So, classic healer setup here. HP defense recovery. Makes sense. She is variant though, which she does get a crit lead, and he does have one book into her so far. And coming in with enhancements, he has recovery, crit damage, crit rate, and then HP. Anyways, moving on here, we have Wood Mini Cat coming in hot over here, which I'm just going to review this one because that's the first one that I picked up. Just kidding, I'm going to review this one, but fully booked up. Obviously, he has a great lead with his recent update. And let's take a look at the enhancements first, though. So he has recovery, HP defense, and a little bit of resist up there as well, sprinkled on in. If you guys don't follow suit here yet, hopefully you're picking it up. Make sure your enhancements are like this on your healers, or you need to go ahead and make sure you subscribe to the channel. That way, your account can look like this in the future. But anyways, he is on a life set with a defense gem coming in with 13% resist, HP gem coming in with 13.5% recovery, 8% resist, and then 13.5% defense. And then a recovery gem with 23% resist. So HP defense recovery, right? Right. So he's just trying to make sure that it can survive as much as possible and make sure them heals are getting off. Perfectly fine with that. One Woodphibian, since I think one has retired due to the existence of Wood Scheherazade. But this Phibian's coming in with 69% resist. This seems to be a common occurrence for LUwUka over here. In terms of enhancements though, he has HP, attack, crit damage, and crit rate, man. He's trying to get some DPS off these damn debuffers, man. But he has an HP gem up here with 21% resist and then 13.5% defense. A defense gem of 13% crit rate and then 13.5% attack. And then an HP gem. So HP defense with 16% resist and then 13.5% defense. He's trying to get some damage at this boy, man. That's all I can say. Moving on though, we have Wood Leo over here, fully booked up. Not super evoed, but not, you know, it's not the end of the world. But he is sitting at 64% resist, as well as 87% crit rate on a ruin set. So he has an HP gem with 27% resist up here, as well as some crit damage and defense as well. There's a crit rate gem with 14.5% defense and then 15% attack, which explains why his crit rate is that excessively high. And then also a defense gem with 13.5% crit rate and then 12.5% attack, which kind of a weird champ because he's sitting at like 4k attack, maybe 4.4k, which If you guys need a better perspective of that, some mons in this game already start off with base 4K attack, and it's on a ruin set. Let's take a look at the enhancements. There's defense, attack, resist, and crit rate as well. I'm not sure what LUwUka was doing here. I don't even think LUwUka knows. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. Let's move on. Moving on, though, we have Wood Garuda over here on a ruin set. Boy is fully booked up. Dude's coming in hot with that double weaken, hopefully procking. Not that they can like overlap on each other, but if he can like proc while he's doing maybe his courageous strike move, that could potentially be helpful. Though it may override, because it's for one turn. I'm not sure. Or does it like if the first weaken doesn't proc, is it kind of like a pugilist set where this one's a separate value? So maybe even if the first one is resisted, there's a chance that the other one could stick, because if that happens, then understandable. Have a great day. But anyways, this bad boy is on a ruin set with a crit damage gem coming in with 25% crit rate, which is beautiful. An attack gem with 19.5% crit rate. And then another attack gem with 19.5% defense, as well as 13.5% crit rate. So crit damage, attack, he's going balls to the walls, boy. Boy's trying to get the most damage out of this Garuda. In terms of enhancements, he has HP, crit damage, crit rate, defense, and then attack. So well rounded out to get the most DPS out of this boy, man. Beautiful. Next up, though, is the fourth Wood Merlin. This one's triple triangle as well, but he's coming in hot with 93% crit rate. This one's fully booked up, and he also has Fiery Resolve, which grants a 40% chance when getting attacked to increase own attack power by 50% for one turn, which if he gets hit and that move procs and he crits, it's gonna be pretty spicy. But anyways, let's take a look at these gems though. He has an attack gem of Ruin on his Ruin set with 21% crit rate, as well as 12% crit damage. There's another attack gem with 11% crit damage and 28.5% crit rate. Very, very good roll. Very, very good roll. And then you guys know, you had to go ahead and slide in that last crit damage gem with 21% crit rate and then 20% attack, which is pretty chunky, man. Pretty chunky. Very, very beautiful Wood Merlin squad right there. Very, very beautiful. This other Wood Garuda may be similar to its brother. But let's go ahead and dive into this. So this one's sitting at 80% resist on a ruin set with an attack gem of 20% crit rate. Another attack gem with 21% resist and 14% crit rate. And then a crit damage gem with 14% crit rate, 14% attack, and then 16% resist. So similar, but this one, I hit the wrong button over there. It's not the end of the world. But this one has way more resist than the other guy, if I do recall. It does. But that's the biggest difference, for like 10% difference in terms of crit rate, which is pretty incredible, man. Pretty incredible. Enhancements wise though, HP, crit damage, there's attack, defense, crit rate, very, very similar to the other one. Obviously the super ascension skill is immunity though, which is different from the weakened status. Moving on, next though, we have a Hana that doesn't have a gem on her, so I'm just going to quickly click on the next one. This Hana though is super evolved just like the other ones over here. She's sitting at nearly 60% resist. And let's take a look at these gems with her being fully booked up as well. So she has a defense gem with 12.5% recovery as well as 13% resist. HP gem with 20.5% recovery. And then a recovery gem with 13.5% crit rate and then 18.5% defense. HP defense recovery, if you guys don't know that by now, there's nothing I can do. I can't help you. I'm sorry. You need help that some random Andy on YouTube just cannot provide to you. Like, you need to go see a professional. I am professional, but I'm unlicensed. So you need to go see a licensed professional. In terms of enhancements though, this one only has defense, which maybe he like reset her stats and he's like going to redo them. I'm not sure. Question mark. Then there's another Hana over here. I'm not going to really divulge into her gems because you guys should understand how to gem your healers up. But in terms of enhancements though, she has defense, HP, and recovery, which once again, you guys should understand how to enhance your healers by now. And then last but not least is going to be Yuki in terms of his wood mons. She is on a Gem of Healer set, fully booked up, super evoed, coming in hot with 20% base resist and then 30% crit rate. But she has a defense gem on her, an HP gem with 19% crit damage, and then another HP gem. So she's just there to hopefully heal herself and gain some HP just for a little bit more survivability, I'm assuming, just to make sure she can get her exposed weakness off. And that's pretty much it, you guys. Oh yeah, let's take a look at enhancements real quick. So defense, HP, and recovery. Yeah, he's like, I just need her to survive. That's pretty much it. Alright, next up we got the water mines, you guys. There's a gleam here, there's some freaking slimes and some Nat 3 fodder over here, but those guys aren't important. So we're coming in here though with Wet Indra, no books on him, but he's sitting at nearly 80% crit rate as well as 54% resist on a Valor set, fully enhanced as well. He has a crit damage gem with 20.5% crit rate, an attack gem with 14% crit rate, and then once again another attack gem with 26% crit rate. Pretty fat, dude. Pretty fat. In terms of enhancements though, he has defense, crit damage, HP, and then crit rate and attack as well. Definitely not bad. A little bit risky there with that nearly 80% crit rate, but I'm sure if he crits, it's a smiley face, and if he doesn't, it's like, well, he is a debuffer, so it's not the end of the world if he doesn't crit, but I would definitely love that damage if he can get his Courageous Strike move off. Next up though is Water Mildew, coming in with a broken set, sitting at 58% resist over here, fully booked up as well as enhanced, HP, defense, and recovery because it is a healer of course. And this is a copy of, what is it, Wood Belpup that we looked at earlier in the video, but obviously this one's water and it's a different Astromon. But anyways, recovery gem over here with 15% resist and 13% defense. Recovery gem once again with 14% resist, and then an HP gem with 12% recovery. So recovery, HP, which makes sense because if you look at his base recovery stat, it's essentially non-existent. Like, that is terrible, terrible. Draka has more recovery than him. I understand that this one's a dirt nasty, like Nat -5, but still, dude, that recovery stat is just horrible. Moving on though, we have 1 out of 2 water Drakas, I do believe. That's what it looks like over here. This water Draka is sitting at 85% resist though, defense gem with 15% resist and 14.5% attack. Another, not a defense gem, but an HP gem with 9% resist and 20% recovery. And then a defense gem with 23% resist and a little bit of crit damage as well. But max resist, its main selling point is just getting weakened off, so why focus on anything else? Then here's another Draka who may or may not be being used. This one has literally no resist at all, so I'm just going to skip it. Coming in hot though is an Evo 3 Water Indra, and this one's on a broken set, but it's sitting at, well, he's sitting at 75% crit rate, as well as 45% resist. In terms of enhancements, he has defense, crit rate, attack, crit damage, and some more HP and attack. Let's take a look at these gems though. So crit damage gem with 14% crit rate, as well as 19.5% defense. An attack gem with 22% crit rate and 7% crit damage, and then another attack gem with 11% crit damage and 20.5% crit rate, which isn't a bad roll, dude. Isn't a bad roll. So very, very similar to his counterpart down here, but obviously in terms of stats he's a little bit higher since he is Evo 3. And then we have Water Cure over here. She's sitting at 85% resist. Only 2 books into her right now, but I'm pretty sure that in the future she will be booked up more. But let's take a look at these gems though. So she has a recovery gem with 15% resist up there, as well as 13.5% defense. An HP gem with 25% resist. And then a defense gem with not 17, but with 15% resist up there as well. So definitely pretty good, dude. So hold on, 15, that's 30. She starts off with 20, so that's already 50. Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down, man. I'm smelling what you're stepping in. Here's the other Water Cure though. This one's Evo 2 as well, which is weird, champ, because you don't have Evo 3 Water Cures. Anyways, this one has been rolling straight into exposed weakness only. But she is on a Gem of Life set, coming in with a defense gem with 14.5% recovery, as well as 16% resist. A recovery gem. And then an HP gem with some 18.5% defense up there, as well as 13.5% recovery. And then in terms of enhancements, just HP, defense, and recovery. Pretty standard for a healer, you guys. Pretty standard. There's a Wood Katyn over here. Over here, sitting with 84% resist, with shield breaker and defense up. Not sure where that one's being used at. Really not sure. Let's take a look at the gems though. Recovery gem with 29% resist. Defense gem with 26% resist. And then an HP gem with 21% defense, but literally like no resist up there other than 9. But dude's still sitting at a fat 84% resist. Amazing. Then there's a Shelly over here. Nothing extravagant, fully booked up, but just on the HP set, just trying to get as much survivability out of the Shelly, and not really like warrant giving it any damage, because you don't want Shelly stealing any of your orbs, because you want him to do defense down and not his predator, because his predator is water predator, and you're using this mon against hopefully a fire titan. So why would you want him to use this single target water predator that only scales up in terms of damage when he's attacking water Astromon, when the mon that you're fighting, or monster that you're fighting, or being that you're fighting is a fire type? This bad boy is sitting at 83% resist though on a conviction set. So he has a defense gem with 13% resist, HP gem with 16% resist, and then another HP gem with 6% resist, and a little bit of crit damage right there. Next up though, he has a water Persephone on a pugilist set. She is rocking 65% resist though. Let's take a look at these gems. So HP gem, of course, because her adrenaline uses HP. 6% resist up there. Another HP gem with no resist, but 13.5% defense. And then an attack gem, so HP attack with 17% resist. Did not expect that. I did not. But she has some crit resist, and HP. And I'm sure you guys are like, but Elio, didn't you just review his account in November? Yeah, I reviewed his account like 7 months ago. But with the amount of mods that are in people's accounts and the amount of account reviews that I do, it's impossible for me to remember. Oh, yeah, what's his name from last year? I reviewed his account and he had this one Astromon that had these certain gems on him that could do this stuff. I'm not gonna remember that. Half you guys don't even remember what you ate last night, so I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Moving on though, Wet Barona. This Wet Barona is coming in with what is that? 89% crit rate. Literally no resist at all, so maybe she's back lane, but fully enhanced. And she has an attack gem of 19% crit damage, as well as 13.5% crit rate. An attack gem with 14% crit damage and 15% crit rate. And then a crit damage gem with 20.5% crit rate. Now, Mana was the master of crit rate, attack, crit damage, but we can see a recurring theme here with Lucas, where dude just goes in. Like, it's crit damage, attack, boys. Crit damage, attack, or go home. All healers on Ruin or go home. Let me stop. But anyways, and enhancements wise though, there's crit damage, there's attack, defense, crit rate, and then some HP. So maximizing damage while also not forgetting about survivability. Then here's the other Byrona on the infamous Ruin set. No books on her, but fully enhanced as well. Let's take a look at her enhancements first though. Once again, basically identical to the other one. Defense, crit damage, you got crit rate, attack, and then HP. But this one's on a Ruin set, boys. So there's an attack gem with 20.5% crit rate. There's another attack gem with 19.5% crit rate. And then a crit damage gem with 18% crit rate. And then 12.5% attack. I mean, 80% crit rate, still a little bit low in my opinion. But if she crits, it's going to be smiley face damage. That's all I can say. Coming up next though is Water Wildfang. She is on a Gem of Healer set, fully booked up, super evoed. Enhancements, he has defense, resist, and then HP up there on this baby girl. Let's take a go at these gems though. So HP gem with 12% resist. Another HP gem with 27% resist and 13% defense. And then a defense gem with 14% resist. Okay, I see. I see. And then he has a super evoed water succubus. Okay, it's not fire. It's not fire. I didn't mean to click on that slime. It's not fire. I would have been hurt if this was a super evoed like pugilist set fire succubus, because fire succubus, let's just say, isn't the play of the game. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you guys right now. But anyways, this baby girl is on a pugilist set over here. No enhancements though, but we're on her anyway. So let's go take a look at these gems. So there's a crit rate gem with 26.5% attack. Pretty chunky. HP gem with 12% crit rate. And then an attack gem with 11% crit rate and 5% crit damage. Nothing extravagant, but if I do recall, she is crit rate dependent. Yep, her morale boost is, so that makes sense as to why she's on crit rate. But more of a bruiser-ish build with the crit rate, HP attack, just some survivability while also trying to get her moves off. Because if she can proc that morale boost, which goes into attack down, there's a probability that if you're lucky, that Pugilist will stick even if attack down doesn't, and hopefully stun whatever he's fighting. So not the best succubus in the world, but I can definitely see what he's aiming to do or accomplish with this Astromon. Alright you guys, least but not last. Well, I guess technically this is last since we don't have any more of his box to go through other than the storage. We have the Firemons. Let's go ahead and give them a go. So we have 3 Fire Gleams here and also a Slime. There's a Fire Poseidon, but he's only Evo 1 at the moment, so maybe he's a work in progress. There's a Fire Mr. C is what I'm going to call him. He does have a book though. But anyways, this one's on an HP of, not an HP, but a Gem of Life set, which boosts his max HP, sitting at 58% resist, a Recovery Gem, HP Gem of 20% recovery, and then another Recovery Gem. So trying to get the most recovery possible out of him because his recovery is dirt nasty low as a defender type, which is perfectly understandable. In terms of enhancements though, just defense and recovery once again. Fire Wukong over here on a leech set, sitting at 85% crit rate as well as 41% resist. Enhancements wise though, it has defense, crit damage, and then attack, but no crit rate at all. It could have crit rate, it could, but it doesn't. But there's a defense gem of 21% crit rate up there. There's a crit rate gem, and then an attack gem. So kind of bruiser-ish build, but I'm sure if he gotten like a different leech gem that he would have it up there, because this one's HP. But I'm sure if he got like another attack gem, he would take that one off, so it makes sense. Next up though is this other Fire Poseidon. This one's Evo 2 though, with some enhancements coming in with defense, HP, and then also attack. And let's take a look at these gems on this leech set. So there's an attack gem, and my mouse is being super duper weird for a moment. 15% resist though. HP gem of 13% resist. And then another attack gem with 16% resist. So what was that? Okay, HP attack on leech. Makes sense. I mean, his main selling point is if he can get weaken off, that's super duper good. But also having that courageous strike will ensure that hopefully he can get enough damage in just to have him survive longer. And sitting at, you know, 76% resist isn't anything to scoff at either in terms of survivability as it is. Even though he's a tank type with courageous strike, LUwUka is trying to get as much damage out of him as possible. Next up though is Fire Shinobi over here sitting at Evo 2. No books on this one, but enhancements wise he has an attack, crit damage, and then defense as well, and some HP at the bottom here. So once again trying to maximize the most damage out of his courageous strikers on a Gem of Healing set bonus. Maybe not intended, but it just worked out that way because this crit rate gem, not crit rate, but crit damage gem has 27.5% crit rate as well as 7% attack. There's an attack gem with 20.5% crit rate, and then another attack gem with 27% crit rate. So it's not ruined, but crit damage attack is crit damage attack. I mean, that plus 150 recovery, you might as well just call this a broken set because that's not going to do anything. Literally nothing. The other Fire Mr. C over here is on a protection set. The other one was on a life set, but this one's on a protection set. With HP gem with 22.5% recovery, a recovery gem with 13.5% defense, and then another recovery gem with 13.5% crit rate and 14.5% defense. Okay. Enhancements wise though is just defense, HP, recovery, and then some crit resist. So once again he's trying to get the most recovery out of this boy as possible because his recovery stat is dirt nasty low, which you kind of want him to have so he can do his job as a healer. Next up is the other Fire Shinobi on also a leech set, so he's going in game over here, boys. In game with these leech sets, but he's sitting at 82% crit rate as well as 31% resist. Enhancements is defense, HP, attack, and then crit damage. So there's a crit rate gem with 21% defense as well as 19.5% attack. There's an attack gem with 11% crit rate. Then there's a crit damage gem with 21.5% attack up there. So that was... This is a mana action, but this is on a leech set though. But crit rate, attack, crit damage. Okay. I mean, as long as he survives, that's the biggest goal to get the most damage out of him. Following that, though, we have another Evo 2 Fire Wukong on a broken set, but sitting at 80% crit rate, fully enhanced at Evo 2. His enhancements are crit rate, attack, defense, attack, crit damage, and then some HP. So HP, attack, crit rate, crit damage, and a little bit of defense as well. On his broken set, he has an attack gem with 11% crit damage, 21% crit rate, and 12.5% defense. He has an attack gem with 20% crit rate and 12% crit damage. So attack, crit damage. That's my boy LUwUka. That is my boy LUwUka. Sitting over here with 14% defense and then 21% crit rate on that Wukong as well. And then enhancements, I'd stated that already, but I just remembered that now. Coming up next though, we have Fire Pixie. She is on a Gem of Protection set with a recovery gem, an HP gem with 19.5% recovery, and then another recovery gem. Once again trying to raise up her recovery to make sure she can do her job properly. He's not playing, you guys. He is definitely not playing. Up next though is Fire Valk. She is on a Pugilist set sitting at 58% resist. Who at me at Discord? Because LUwUka just at me at Discord, you guys. And I just need to cuss him out. Look at this. Look at this. Anyways, Fire Valk sitting at 58% resist. And let's take a look at these gems real quick. So there's a defense gem with 7% resist. Another defense gem with 7% resist, and then an HP gem. So I can see what he's intending to do here, and he just put her on a Pugilist set because why not? So that's perfectly understandable. She's probably just a work in progress though. He does have an Evo 3 water, not water Poseidon, but fire Poseidon on a leech set, coming in with 70% crit rate and then 28% resist. But he has a crit rate gem up there. HP gem with 14% crit rate. And then attack gem. Nothing extravagant at all. Nothing extravagant. But in terms of enhancements, there's attack, crit damage, and then HP and defense. But he is on leech, which I don't even have these many mons in general on a leech set that is actually usable. Like I can put them on leech, but HP and defense ain't gonna do nothing on leech. Coming up next though, we have Fire Shinobi over here at Evo 3. No books on him, but he is on a ruin set, coming in with that triple triangle action. In terms of enhancements though, he has attack, crit rate, attack, defense, crit damage, and then some HP. So there's an attack gem with 20% crit rate. There's a crit damage gem with 20% crit rate as well. My mind cut off for a second. Then once again, another attack gem with 21% crit rate. That is some hella rolls, man. Hella rolls. Moving on next though, we have 1 out of 2 Fire Drakas. This one's on an SP Siphon set, coming in with 73% crit rate and then 52% resist. No books, but some enhancements. So attack, resist, crit rate, and then some crit damage. So on this attack gem, 6% crit damage, 14% resist. Crit rate gem. Attack gem. Okay, crit rate, attack. That's perfectly fine. It's Draka. Then there's also another Draka on a Siphon set as well, and this one's coming in at 84% crit rate as well as 44% resist. In terms of enhancements, there's resist, HP, attack, crit damage, and then crit rate. Another crit rate gem with 14% crit damage, 14% defense, and 6% resist. There's an attack gem with 7% crit rate. And then there's 6% crit rate on that attack gem. So crit rate, attack for both of them. Not the end of the world. 2 Drakas. I mean, 1 Draka is enough for PvE, but 2 Drakas is, you know, to the moon, man. To the moon. There's also a Fire Cherry over here, which I'm just going to skip her. It's Fire Cherry. Then there's Fire Cure over here. We'll go with this one right here. She's on a Gem of Protection set, as well as what the other healers were on. Let's take a go at these gems though. So there's Recovery Gem with 29% resist, pretty fat. An HP gem with 13.5% attack and then 13% defense. And then a defense gem, so HP, defense, recovery with 14.5% recovery up there. Surprised she's not a ruin, man. Surprised she ain't on a ruin. Coming up next though, we do have a Fire Mildew who's also on a Gem of Protection set. In terms of his enhancements, he has recovery and then defense, but he has a defense gem with 17% resist, a recovery gem, and then an HP gem as well with 20.5% defense. Fire Kindling also on a Gem of Protection set. All these fire mons just on protection and leech. It's kind of amazing right here. HP gem with 19.5% attack. Another HP gem with a little bit of resist and 15% defense. And then another HP gem with 18.5% attack. So that was HP defense. No, that was triple HP. Triple HP. Coming up next though, we have another Evo 3 Fire Shinobi. This bad boy is sitting at 76% crit rate as well as 58% resist. Him and that 58% resist, man. But on a Gem of Leech set, 54% crit rate on this gem, of course. Nothing really extravagant on that one. An attack gem, 19.5% defense. And then another attack gem with 13% resist up there. So just crit rate, attack. Nothing extravagant, but I'm sure he does okay. Maybe not the best damage in the world, but definitely got more survivability than my Shinobis, because I don't even have a single one on a leech set right now. In terms of enhancements though, there's attack, defense, crit damage, HP, attack, and then some crit rate. Coming in though is the third, I believe, isn't the, yep, it's the third Evo 3 Fire Shinobi. This one's on a ruin set though, and he does have books on him. Enhancements wise though, very, very identical to the other ones, and he's trying to push some stats. It's not as like focused as would Merlin, but I'm sure once he gets around to it that he's going to bump these guys up too. But let's take a look at this ruin set. So crit damage gem with 20% attack up there and 20% crit rate. Then there's an attack gem with 27% crit rate and 7% crit damage. And then there's another attack gem with 26% crit rate, as expected. Then there's Fire Wukong here. He does have some books in the Fire Wukong on, once again, another leech set. Sitting at 82% crit rate and then 37% resist. Enhancements wise though, once again, very, very similar to Shinobi, so I'm not going to bother covering that. But he has an HP gem up on this one with 26.5% crit rate. There's 21.5% crit rate on this attack gem. And then 14% crit rate on this attack gem. So HP, attack, I do believe. But with those subs, it's pretty damn good to be at 82% crit rate. I mean, I know that enhancements do play a part in that, but for this not to be a crit rate gem on him and have that much crit rate, dude, that's pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. And then we also have another Fire Wukong who is on a Zeal set, coming in with a 101% crit rate. I do believe that's a Zeal set. And then 31% resist. Another crit damage gem with 20% crit rate. An attack gem with 34.5% crit rate. I think that's honestly the highest amount of crit rate I've ever seen on a gem. Is it? Yeah, I think my gem is only like 15, boys. Not 15, but I think my gem is only like 30 something. Never mind. My screen's a lot more little because I'm on Nox, but yeah, my Indra has a 35.5% crit rate roll inside his crit damage gem. So I think hypothetically the max is like 36, but that's still pretty damn high. And then, yeah, okay, let's get back to it. Crit damage gem with 20% crit rate. This attack gem with 34.5% crit rate. And then another attack gem with 21% crit rate and then 12% crit damage. And of course he gets a bonus to his attack and crit rate, putting him just over the threshold by 1%. But he's over it. 100% is 100%, boys. And then in terms of enhancements, very similar to the other prior Wukongs and Shinobis, but this one doesn't have a crit rate enhancement because he has hit it. Damn, that's pretty intense. It's kind of amazing though, the amount of ruin sets he has all around across all of his Titans mons. Very, very amazing. Like, to have them be that consistent, even though, you know, I know the ways that he got them to be consistent, which is just, you know, spending money into the game, which does help keep the game alive, which is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. But let's take a look at his storage real quick and we'll wrap this up. So he has a Wood Amayoji, a Light Vic, Light Hana, Dark Sandwraith, Dark Suck, Dark Pixie, a Dark Katine, and then some legendary fodder. And a Evo 3 Fire Tiger. Yep, this review's over, dude. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. But anyways, LUwUka, thank you so much for allowing me to revisit your account once again. It's been 7 months, but I do recall that you've made a lot of progress in this 7 months, and it's nice to see how consistent your account is in terms of gem quality, as well as you just being super duper lucky with having these amount of Astramons in general on not only Leech sets, but also Ruin sets. You even got your damn healers on Ruin sets, which is absolutely bonkers. But do keep up the good work, dude. As you guys could see, that his Merlins alone has done an incredible amount of damage. And if you guys are seeking help into becoming Titan gods like LUwUka, then definitely join the Discord if you guys haven't already. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. And I'll see you guys in the next one. So yeah, peace out.